confusion.
Yeah.
Oh, that was quick. Howdy, everyone. It's Crow's Nest No Quarter, episode 58. I couldn't think of a really good title, so I just went with Are We Havocing Fun Yet? So
You're all about the fucking puns and the names, aren't you?
Oh, well, you know, you got to have something to...
Entertaining about the game.
No, just to keep my silly little brain occupied for 5 minutes.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so let's say hello to everyone who's here. Have you put the link in the YouTube chat?
Yeah, it's there.
Ah, nice. Good job. How you doing, G Daddy?
Hi, welcome, good guys and girls.
And we've got Watchman.
Hi, everyone.
And Shane Howe.
Hello, peoples.
Cattlefish.
Hello, everyone.
And we've got Toxic.
G'day, how are we going?
I'm RB, and we've got Damnation.
All right, I said hi, and I pushed the button to get us started, and that's probably all I have to contribute today. Have fun.
You could get high again.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Cool. So, obviously, we'll talk about some bounty and all sorts of other things that are going on in the game. So, if you want to come and join us, obviously, the link is there. So, there's a couple of spots open. So, who wants to start off? And how's your bounty going?
Mine's going great because I haven't entered it. Yay.
Is that because you're waiting, or is that because you've got too many other things to do?
That's because I ain't really got nothing to do it with. Anything all I got's breachers, so ain't no sense in me sitting there hitting the bases for like 250 a pop. I mean, I ain't going to do that shit. So, no. Not my shtick.
Well, I'm doing the bounty, and I'm at about 50,000 or so. And it's going pretty well. I have hit no replica bases. Remember, if you are thinking about joining the bounty, they have changed the rules, and you cannot join the bounty if there is less than 48 hours remaining in the event. So you have about 22 hours to join the event, if you plan to.
Yep, definitely.
That is a new change, and lots of people are going to miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my alliance, what we do, I come from a small alliance. When we come on to bounty, we immediately flood around to the nearby sectors, and we peak bases for about the first 12 hours. And we only look for people above level 100 and who have absolutely the worst bases we've ever seen. Bases who haven't been touched in 3 to 4 years.
Stay away from my base.
If you have a breacher in your base or any base guard above, if you have a tier 7 ship in there, we probably won't come in. But if you have like spites in there or something like that, we'll come in. We
were talking about this in the pre-show, and I asked them if we also preyed upon little old ladies in the parking lot in the mall.
Hey, hold on. If you have a heavy turret, that's too much. If you have one of the green cloud guns, OP guns, we won't be by. If you have the big footprint that we got, the bigger footprint that we got from 2 years ago, not coming in. So no, we have found about 20 of these people, and we are just moving from one to the other. Each one of these bases can be done with a singular breacher.
It is quite amazing that there are still bases like that out there, but there are, yeah.
This is above level 100 peoples. They have had 100 levels to grow.
Well, they'd have had to have joined Bounty too, obviously.
Right, and they decided to join Bounty. I do feel bad for them, but any effort at all, and we wouldn't be there.
Yeah, because that's quite a list of all the things that you need, and I'm sure that when you go out and find all these bases, not all of these people join Bounty or whatever. And, if you do join Bounty, you've got to expect to be hit. So I was kind of chuckling at that in my sector comms, it's like, oh, you just hit me. Well, you did join Bounty, by now you probably know what Bounty's about, and you don't, well, can't expect somebody else to just, I don't know. It's a bit
I had a level 113, asked why I hit him, and he's in Bounty, and it's like, what? It's a game, you join Bounty, I'm going to hit you. You had Bounty points, 2,500 points for me.
See, I thought playing Bounty was all about going out and blitzing the 129 targets. That's what I thought Bounty was all
about.
Speaking of the 129 targets, any of you sneaky Shrike owners been doing them?
I heard something about this, but I haven't tried one.
See, I've heard from a couple of people that I don't have Shrikes, but that you can go in there with Shrikes and do it for like 45 minutes of damage or something like that.
Way to say that live on air and ruin it for everybody. Good job.
Well,
I don't have Shrikes anyway, so
I don't have Shrikes.
No.
So it's not fair.
No. Why don't you just take the place of White Star and talk about the Grease Monkey crew?
Well, I understand what you're saying, Damnation, but at the same time, this is what players have been forced to do to succeed. So, whatever challenge they give us, we'll get around. And if Kixeye haven't thought about that and done something about it, sucked in.
And those targets shouldn't be.
That's the way it works.
Those targets shouldn't be targetable by PvE ships.
Yep. And who was the first person who thought of it? Bloody well done. Kudos for sure.
I'm currently on 219,000. Mainly hitting bases. I did blitz a couple, but the last sort of 60k has been from hitting bases. So we've been having a bit of a ding dong with another large alliance, and I've been at the moment doing quite well out of it. So. So that's been fun.
Well, you don't count. You're a whaler watchman. Right.
I haven't coined. What's it? They've been coming back with 5 howlers and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a bit mad, So they've just coined their howler fleets up. So the last 2, whatever.
Let me tell you how a non-coiner's doing then.
Yeah.
I've got 53,730 and 1,548 in the global. In the world, I'm 300th, and in sector, I'm 8th, and I'm in sector 5.
I'm 167 global. Let's have a look. World 39. And sector, we got a couple of big ones in our sector. I'm 7th in the sector.
That was good, G Daddy. However, I don't know if I would have necessarily said where you were.
No, it don't matter. It don't matter to me. I wait until someone hits me, and I'll keep the fleet on map and just then use that bubble to get my points.
Yeah.
If they take 1,800 off me, I get 10k. So I'm not bothered.
I'm at about 12k at the moment because my biggest challenge this week is the FM, and we'll probably go into talking about that a bit later. But I'm kind of curious for you guys that are doing it and doing well. Have you all fitted the Conquest battery to your fleet?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Across the board.
And do you find that it's working better?
Yes. Well, I think so, but I can't particularly tell based on the targets that I hit.
I hit your opponents under 100. Got the same fleet that I haven't changed anything with it. And
I'm just using. Oh, go on. Sorry, Toxic. I thought you finished.
No, it works. And I've tried one level 90 with my eradicators, but they're taking half an hour damage, so I didn't do any more of that.
I've got a couple of my howlers up to U1 as well because they give us the tokens in the bounty, so you can get 2 of them done.
How much is the upgrade to level 1?
Oh, I think it was only about like 18 hours or something. Was it something like that? I don't know. I did it pretty quickly.
I think with the conquest ones, it's not quite. You know, it's not like the PvE fleets. It's a bit less. So
yeah. I mean, I've got a I've got a dreadnought breacher now upgrading, and that's still like 5 days left on that because I had some upgrade tokens. But I mean, there's still 5 days to finish that. I ain't got in it. So. I want to try that new weapon on it. So
you'll coin that. Coin it.
But on the Howler upgrade, do you find that the melty ring works better? Does it melt portals faster?
Yeah, it does seem to go through them like virtually instantly. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just melting them. I mean, but I don't know how many people have got their when I'm hitting. I've got their portals like level 3 or level 2 because it doesn't actually tell you when you're hitting. So, you know, even though
is that what that? Oh, sorry. Finish off what you're going to say. Sorry.
Yeah, but there's not much of a difference between the 2 and 3. To be honest with you, it's only a small. I mean, compared to the amount of damage that's been kicked out by the howlers anyway. So,
yeah.
So is that what that plasma damage ring was in the stats that they were going on about?
Yeah, that little yellow ring in front of Havoc, in front of the Howler. Yeah.
Anything in that ring takes 700,000 damage a second. That is unreducible.
Right.
And if you upgrade it to level 1, U1, you will be doing 1.3 million damage per second.
Right. Okay. Because I was confused by that because I couldn't work out where this plasma damage suddenly came from. So okay, that's cool. That makes sense now.
Yeah, I've got a couple of howlers up to level 1 because they get the free tokens, so I can do it instantly. You know?
I will say on my fleet, I've just got 1 howler, 1 breacher dreadnought, 2 revenants, and an MSC, and I can play with them all night long, hitting level 81 bases and higher. And only thing that dies to start with is the MSC, and then after that it's the revenants, the breacher, and the howler didn't even hardly get scratched. And that's 81s and over.
Okay. Because, the reason I was asking about it, so the last, 2 bounties for me have been really pretty easy and not too much of a drama. So knowing that, we factor downgrade all the rest of it, I made sure that I put the Conqueror battery on, thinking that it was going to make a fairly big improvement, but I've been kind of struggling. So at that end, I haven't been finding very many bases. So I generally only hit European bases. I haven't been finding very many under 100 at all. So I was going well into the 120, 130s on the Europeans without any issues at all. But now I'm kind of struggling a bit. So. And does anyone refit the radioactive plate? Have you found any benefits from that at all?
I haven't refit any of the things from this bounty onto my ships yet.
No, I haven't done that.
Okay, because I did have to burn a token, so I could double stack for the next for the raid, and I went ahead and put one on, but I haven't had a chance to use it yet, so I'm not sure what if any improvement there is. So I was kind of interested to see what sort of difference people had noticed, if any.
No, my dock is occupied. I had a breacher at upgrade 1 for quite a long time with the old chain guns on them, and that was just bouncing off of everything. So a full refit is going on with the new with the new chain guns on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. I've got one breacher upgraded, and I'm upgrading the second one, and then I'll refit them with that new chain gun.
See, I'd really, really, really like to do that refit, but it's going to mean that it's like a 30-day build or something. I haven't added it up exactly, but if you think it's like, well, whatever it was, 12 or 14 days to build it in the first place, then another 10 days to update it, and then another, I think it was 5.5 days. That's a bloody long build for a Conqueror build, and it would have to be the best hull in the game for me to spend that sort of time on one hull.
Well, that's not the problem, isn't the time spent on it. It's when you've finished it, you play with it for 2 days, and then the nitwits nerf everything or buff something else up, and it's all for nothing. That's why I'm not doing it anymore. They can get stuffed.
But that's why I'm not coining it. I'm just using the tokens that are available from what we can pick up. So I've taken as much time off the upgrade as I can, but I mean, it still left me with about 5.5 days. Just for the upgrade.
You guys noticed though, as soon as you clicked to start the bounty, the lag happened.
Oh,
yeah, it was really.
Well, the game's been crashing for me so often. It just crashed. Actually, it just crashed.
Yeah.
I'm just out eating some 95s now, like to top up with titanium. But it crashed. First target I hit, bang. Fortunately, the fleet can do it on auto, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
But,
it reminds me of like 4 years ago when I actually stopped hitting bases because all I can do is hit a base and not watch it, just leave it. I can't.
Well, obviously I've been hitting a lot of player bases, and a couple of times in hitting player bases, the bloody game crashed. I ended up losing 19 medals, because the fleet just got and fucking parked itself, basically, just got wiped out,
They just spin as well, don't they? And just like shoot across screen, and you don't even know where weapons are firing.
No, it has been crashing. The game's been crashing a lot more often. Since Bounty started, I've found that. Yeah.
Well, I'm finding every 2 alternate bases I'm having to refresh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes it very, very hard to compete in things like this when the performance is bad. Go on, Cuddle, sorry.
Well, in this bounty for the first day or so, there were a bunch of Kixeye employee bases floating around.
That's right, yeah.
Did anybody find any?
No, never seen one.
No,
they were like your opponent bases, weren't they? I think.
No, they were actual people. I seen Corbin. I seen his base getting hit. Now I never got to see it because every time somebody's hitting it, battles filled up instantly, so I never got to watch it. So I don't know how easy it was, but apparently it was pretty easy peasy.
Did you notice what group it was in that were hitting him?
Well, there was quite a few different groups hitting on them.
Any can you
that
name
I've
them?
seen during the day. Let's see. I know the ones from my sector. F4F guy. OCR guy. And then others. I mean, it was in World Comms. He was on and chatting back, talking with everybody and everything.
But they spawn up, or supposedly spawned up, around about the same area, isn't it? Where your opponent base spawned around the SSR base. Is that right? I never saw one, so that's why I believe.
Well, it was just like anybody else's base, another player in the game.
Yeah,
There was only the one person.
Yeah, but
each individual person, and they were I guess they were in all the different worlds because I seen them talking about it on the Discord. Also, Golden Doodle's base. Apparently, he was getting some attention and all that stuff too.
Right, but where did they spawn? Did they spawn around the SSR base, or did they?
No, they're just out on the map somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Once the cords were posted, then everybody could find them.
I gotcha.
Whoever's paying attention at that time, whatever's going on.
Yeah, I know. I was looking around for them, but with the issues with the map scrolling and all that sort of thing, I couldn't find anything. So
yeah, which I
guess I should have been looking at World Comms.
if I start scrolling across anywhere from any length of time, going to a world and you go to the next world or something, by the time you got there, like the map started to slow itself down. You need to refresh before you found anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just seems to be eating up all the flash memory, scrolling from like across the map.
Has anybody heard what you get for killing their base?
No, I haven't seen or heard anything about it. I was looking, but I haven't seen anything.
I've heard some wild, outrageous claims, so I was hoping somebody here had actually hit one of them. Yeah, they gave me a unicorn ship.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a much higher payout, wasn't it, for getting him? So
You probably just get damaged. That's all. You get to pay.
Well, I imagine it'd be like hitting somebody else's base. What do you get? Like if they're holding up to like 9,000, you get 4,500 of it, or is that what it is when you're hitting people's bases?
you take half, take 50%, isn't it?
So
Of what they have.
Yeah, but
And I mean, I don't know what their total's worth. I mean, they're Kixeye employees. They can have a 25,000 total in there. You'd get 12.5 grand. I don't know. That might have been what they was doing. I don't know.
Okay, they were saying in chat that it was DN Kicks was the alliance and 3,000 plus bounty.
3,000. So yeah, it seems like half of what they'd be holding or whatever, like any other player, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, what's the highest one you can get on the map now? Because I've been hitting your opponent bases this time. I haven't touched any of them.
Well, I think the highest ones are like 500 to 1,000, right? Ain't that what they've always been?
Yeah, so you can get 1,000. Yeah, you can get 1,000. That's what I was looking at. What's the maximum you can get out of them? Yeah.
The Blitz one is 1,250.
Ah, yeah.
Okay. It don't have an info on it. It don't have that info on it. It don't tell how much it gives, but the other ones do in their range, 260 to 360 or whatever, 360 to 500.
Yeah. I think that was just part of the briefing, the Blitz ones. I haven't really gone back to ever try any of those. I probably should.
Now, I did that strike thing a while ago. You cannot hit a Blitz target with the strikes, but you can hit the other targets, the regular your opponent bases.
Ah, they must have changed it then.
Well, it might have been that
I mean,
I ain't getting the full story.
I ran my eradicators in through the 129 Blitz target yesterday. I mean, they did it, but the damage was unacceptable for me to do that any longer. And Chuck in chat just tried one, and yeah, apparently they stopped it.
Yeah, I did one. I did a normal base yesterday with my eradicators, and it can be done, but the damage it's easier done even with normal breaches that haven't been upgraded or whatnot. You can do it cheaper than you can do it with the eradicators.
I can't remember how much damage I took when I hit them. But it wasn't. It was with the howlers. It was much easier to hit the 129s than it was previously without using them. You know what I mean? It melted the 129 quite fast.
That's what you're supposed to use, ain't it? The howler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I only got one howler, so I don't think I'd have much luck at that.
That thing's got like an aura effect, right? The howlers, if you got more, you're stronger. They got like an aura to it for like. I haven't gotten one yet, so I don't know much about them. Just
no, they have their own
base
aura, but it doesn't. It's not like a. They don't all.
Don't have a max 5 aura on it.
Yeah, they have an aura cap of 5, I do believe.
Yeah.
So whatever how many you've got in the fleet, it affects the other ones anyway.
Yeah. So that's why your plasma damage is so. Oh, it actually says plasma damage in there. Oh, there you go. Shows how much I pay attention. But anyway.
Should always read your blueprints, RB.
Yeah. Especially every day at the moment, it seems. But anyway, never mind.
Changing them on us, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't really got a chance to even use it because it has literally, I've only had it probably finished for a week or so, I guess. So I haven't even really had much of an opportunity to use it yet. So
Yeah, so the
I've got
special
questions.
abilities of the Howler that it gets, each individual one, it's got a duplicate aura cap of 5. You get a supercharge ×6. It gives you 10 on the range, and minus, is it 1 million or
700,000
plasma
plasma damage.
Yeah, well, I'm getting minus because I've got mine upgraded. So, and that is a duplicate aura cap of 5. So if you have all 5, obviously, yeah, that's pretty good.
So it's pretty much run over damage, kind of like an old Piranha depth charge or something. I mean, it's only got a range of 10, right?
Well, it says it gives you, it's got a range of 10, but
so you'd have to like run over something, or is it kind of like the Bat Ray thing, got a soaker out in front of it?
Yeah, similar sort of deal, but the Bat Ray one goes out a bit further.
The circle's just in front of the nose of the ship. That's all. So, like if you go into the portal, it'll destroy the portal.
But I'm assuming where it says it's got a range of 10, that as you a duplicate aura cap, that would then you'd get 10 per ship. You know what I mean? It would,
well, you would have noticed it stretch out.
Yeah,
that was the case. So I guess you'd know by actually looking at it. So
taking them apart and putting them together.
Yeah, if I'd have been more sober when I was hitting,
you might have noticed that little nuance, huh?
So what have you guys all bought with your points then? I mean, I've just bought 2 Howlers and the Havoc Gatling gun 2 so far.
The only thing that I've bought so far is the radioactive plate, because to me it was the most important thing out of it. Oh, and a Conqueror token.
Yeah, I mean, you should always take the specials if they're, because you never know when it's going to come in useful, even if it doesn't seem like it's viable always straight away. They'll probably find a place for it. So,
I once got told a long time ago, but by Larry, it was. He says always get the weapon, the hull if possible, and the special, because you never know when you're going to need it. You can always put it on another ship.
That's right. Yeah.
Make sure you try and get that.
I bought the first thing I bought was the lurker tokens. For the last couple of events, I've been saving up lurker tokens. I had 8 lurker tokens just sitting around. With the 3 that were here, I was able to upgrade my lurker instantly to upgrade 1. And that was great. Culmination of, a month or so of saving up tokens.
How many can we store of those? Do you know?
You can store 10 of them.
Oh, okay.
Just one short. So if
let's say I've got a few. I mean, I've got a single lurker upgraded. I haven't upgraded another one yet, so I've got 3 built. So I've still got about 26k to burn, not to spend. This I haven't spent yet, so just deciding what the last bits that I want.
I'm going to buy the 3 the 3 Howler tokens. I'm not going to start the upgrade. I'm just going to bank them and save them up until I have 11 days of them, so I can crank them all the way through all at once.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I looked at them on the Howler, and obviously I upgraded them, but to go any higher,
long range plans.
Yeah, it's just I don't want to lose my Howlers for that amount of time, and I'm not coining it,
Yeah, so I'm just going to save those. Other than that, I bought the radioactive plate. I bought the concussive gun so it can go on my breacher, and is currently. And the only thing left is the invasion scanner, which is important because this is the first special that has a new mechanic in the game that separates it between how it works is based on where the ship is. If you have it in base guard, it doesn't work. If you have it anywhere else, you get the full effect.
Yeah.
This is the first special that has this effect. And
that's what I'm going for next.
And if they put that in there, there's going to be more things like that.
Okay. Cool. Well, thanks for all answers. Toxic, you haven't answered yet, have you?
Say again?
Have you answered what you're buying at this raid, out of this event?
Yeah, I think I've got about 18 or 19,000 points, but I'm just hitting low targets with my what do you call it, my breacher. That's all I'm doing, and yeah, it's been pretty boring. You can't scroll the map. If you hit something on like you drive something when you hit, then Shipstone has big lag, and you gotta click, and then finally it moves, and you move forwards, and then all of a sudden it jitters the whole screen, like jitters like someone hit it, and shots go from left to right, up and down, and yeah. So I just auto little targets.
Yeah, funny you should say that. Someone's just posting comms saying nearly unplayable lag at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, a lot of people.
So it's a shame, and it's what bounty? What is it? 156,000, and they still couldn't get it right. It's still the same every time.
Apparently 20.
Yeah, it's just getting. If it was interesting, yeah, you know, you'd say, yep, no worries. But yeah, unless you spend a lot of money to, yeah, or a lot of seat time, either or. And at the moment, the game is that boring and uninteresting. That I don't want to spend any money, nor do I want to spend a lot of seat time. I'm only doing this while my other game, there's nothing to do on that.
See, and I thought you guys would love this, the PvP side players. I thought you'd love this event.
Yeah, I've found it interesting because, as I said, we've been in a bit of a battle with, you know, another large alliance, and so it's been very, very active PvP event for me. You know.
Well, I told you your game were going to change when you joined R1, didn't I?
Well, I've always been very active. It was just, sadly, as I said, from my previous alliance, we'd lost a lot of our big hitters, and you know, there was only a few left, and it got to the point where it was almost not sustainable. You know, because you just had more of the lower levels left, and even though as much as you can try to help them, there's only so much help the few remaining players could give. You know,
yeah. These targets are fairly time consuming to do that too. If you're prepping, you know, your opponent bases or whatever for other players, it's pretty time consuming. You'd have to, you know, concentrate on getting yourself done, and then, you know, prep them out for the players. So
I'm autoing 95s at the moment with Saturns, and I'm just seeing my fleet starting to jerk around now, so I know a refresh is due because it's going to crash again soon. Yeah, you can just see it starting to play badly. So, but fortunately, it's an auto. So,
yeah, like I said earlier, I haven't seen a base hit at all. I started at the beginning watching base hits, and then it crashed so much I decided just auto the base, and I'm hitting level 80 upwards. So,
yeah, it's the only way you can do it. I mean, I've tried, like one of our alliance got hit, and I thought, oh, I'm going to go and have a look at it, but yeah, you can't. You get the wheel of death, or it just doesn't work. And then once you come back out, you can't scroll the map, and you have to refresh, and it's a nightmare. It's not something you'd want to do for fun, that's for sure. If you do, you're, you know, probably like being poked with hot knives and needles as well.
You said you're using breacher, didn't you?
I just got normal breaches, the ones I built before all this crap happened, before the refactor and all that stuff.
Well, get a howler and put it in front of them, man, and you'll be laughing.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether I'm going to get that far. I may, but then I might not get a weapon for it, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll just play, and whatever I get, I get. It doesn't really bother me.
You see, I'm a PvE player, Toxic, and I've been forced down this route to build Conqueror and Defender hulls. I mean, Defender obviously from a base, but I've been forced to go down the route of building Conqueror hulls. So that's all I've done in my Conqueror yard and in my normal shipyard. When it's like a 15-hour build, I just slap 2 on in both yards. Next day I come back, fit it in Conqueror hut and, you know, Conquest yard.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the Conquerors built, but as soon as you build it, they nerf something, and then you have to take that weapon off, put another weapon on, then as soon as you do that, then it nerfs something in the base. So you need to take some armor off, put some different armor on. As soon as you do that, that nerfs something else, and then you have to upgrade it to be good. Then you have to do this, and then it's just. I'm always a step like behind. I'm always like catching my tail, and it's not fun because I can take my breaches and my howler and not howler basilisk or whatever I got, and I can hit lower level bases, yeah. But that's awesome fun because big bases I can't get into. I'll die before I get to the first gate, and it's taken the fun out of it. I mean, everything that was fun, they've stopped us from doing.
Or they've monetized it.
Or you got to pay a lot of money. Yeah, I mean, like I said on the Thursday show, I think what they want is that they build a ship for us and we just buy that ship and then we just go and play with that. There's no input from us at all, so it's just getting.
Well, there's not much of like thinking outside the box. You kind of. I think a lot of fleets are becoming cookie cutter fleets because you have to put this special on, you have to put that one on. There's this, and you know, back in the day, and I keep harping on about back in the day, but you know, you could come up with more creative builds, yeah. And but now, I mean, they sort of everything is sort of neatly parceled up, and really, you just either have it all upgraded and all those new specials on it and things like that, and it's going to work and it's going to be the best. There isn't much room now for creative thinking, you know.
Well, I'm just gonna throw something in here real quick. Like just to show you the difference between KixEye and other companies are out there. I just looked in my Game of Thrones game, and right now there's a message that says, "Dear lords and ladies, we will have an update at around 3 a.m. on April 28th to fix a few bugs and make several improvements on a public server. The server maintenance will last for 2 hours during the maintenance. You will be unable to enter the game. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. We will send compensation via mail after the maintenance. Thank you for your understanding and support." They are like giving people stuff because they're taking the server down to do maintenance for 2 hours. Like, this is the difference between KixEye, the company KixEye, and other game companies that are out there. Like, I'm telling you guys, most game companies do not treat people the way KixEye do it. And you should go out there and investigate something. And that's all I got to say.
Well, it's interesting because I did want to. That leads me on to segue about the cookie cutter builds, etc. So, if anyone else has got anything to say about Bounty before we go on, or
just a reminder. Just a reminder. If you want to join, you can't just join at the last minute any longer.
Yeah.
And tick that box in the bottom left-hand corner. What it shows you what's unowned or owned on this one.
Yeah, that's been useful because you haven't got to trawl through loads of crap. You know what I mean? You just like get what you need. You know what I mean? Because obviously, anyone that's been reasonably successful in previous bounties or other events, you know, has got a lot of prizes anyway. So, you know,
and that's in the FM too. You can click on that and get rid of all the stuff. It's fantastic.
I love
that button.
Try your best to get up to at least 20k and get one of them howlers, because next time you'll be walking yards.
Cool. So
39 minutes. Just 1 second. 39 minutes. Yeah.
Yep.
I've had to refresh twice since the show started. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's crashed twice ago. Yeah. Just so you know.
That is also though because you're using Google as well. You know. It uses your bandwidth a lot, does Google.
Yeah. So more importantly than Bounty to me is the FM and the changes to our fleets. And I just wanted to talk about that just briefly to see who's upgraded their dragons and what sort of results you've found, that sort of thing, because it like Toxic and I were comparing builds the other day, and you know, he was getting much better repairs than I was, and the only major difference that I could see was that he was using the actually know the names of the things that I'm talking about. So I was using Siege Battery 4 for the turret defense, and he was using the explosive. And that was the only major difference. And while that's giving him, 18% damage, the survivability is actually, a reasonable number. So I just wanted to see how everyone's traveling with their FM, what you've upgraded, what sort of difference you've found, etc., etc.
Well, I only have a Greta with 2 regular dragons. That's all I ever had. Before I was doing around 30 minutes to 28 minutes a target. They did all this changing, gave us those upgrades, and my damage went to like an hour and 7. But with the tokens they gave me in there, I put the first upgrade on every one of the 3 ships I got there, and I'm right back to where I was at before they did all that stuff. 30 minutes a target.
Well, I've got my final Saturn still upgrading, so I haven't had a chance to upgrade anything else. But because of the way the game's playing, there's so much lag at the moment. I've just been using the icebreakers anyway. P111 is just because they're autoing, and it doesn't matter if it bloody crashes. You know what I mean? I'm still getting a free repair, so it's not costing me anything. Apart from seat time, obviously. So I just send them in and let them do it. To me, it's the safest and by far the cheapest option at the moment. And because there's so many other upgrades we've got to do everywhere, it's like, where do you go? Because I don't know how much time I want to spend upgrading stuff when there's a new fleet will be coming out soon anyway.
Yeah, what I do is I use the Greta Inferno Dragon and 4 dragons, all but singles, one at a time in the 114s. I get 350k per target, and I do about 6 of them. So that's 3 million points per ship. So 15 million points ends when they're all dead. But it's an 18-hour repair, so I have to do that early. And also with the XP weekend just round corner from it, I've got loads of ships to repair. Well, 15 in total. But that's 3 fleets, you know what I mean? So you've got to repair them at the same time as repairing your FM fleet, so you can keep doing your FM, because 15 million points is not enough for all the prizes, obviously, when they're like 45 million to get. And now I just enter bounty for that second repair queue, really.
Does anybody sorry.
No, you go.
Does anybody know for sure whether or not these dragon and was it Greta tokens that are in the FM this week, whether they will be in next week, or whether it's just a one-shot deal?
I don't know.
I don't think anyone knows. I think that's part of the plan, to be honest.
Well, usually they do the scaremonger tactic, don't they? And say it's only a week, but they haven't said nothing. So I'm presuming they're going to be in every week, like the new engines that they put in.
Well, that's it. I mean, when the FM started this week, I mean, even those new engines, they weren't in there, were they? It was like, oh, you've already owned them, and then they had to sort of fix it. But so you're never sure what they're going to bloody do. Like,
I think it's about time that they put 6M in it, and we need that in it so bad. Just put it in it, Kicks, please.
And actual dragon build tokens.
Yeah, that'd be nice as well. Well done, Cutfish.
We haven't seen them in all of 2019.
Yeah, I mean, and how long have dragons been out?
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Well, that was part of what I was going to talk about too, because if they go into a new fleet, this is this is a perfect example of what not to do. What they did with the dragons and not having any tokens is a perfect example of what not to do. And especially now that we've got the added upgrade, the added pressure of upgrading Conqueror hulls, upgrading Tier 8 Siege hulls, upgrading all the things that are upgradable now, because we've seen quite clearly that you have to do it or you're going to suffer. So, and
But see, here's
the
the problem though. You're looking at it from a player's perspective. For them, pressure is good. Pressure is great because pressure is what makes you spend money.
That's right, because that was where I was going to go with that. That we saw the post from Chris saying that they're putting pressure here and there, and then taking it away from other places. So where I was finishing with that was that one of the places that they don't need to be putting pressure is the FM, because if you don't do the FM, you haven't got anything else, and if players can't do that weekly task, they're not going to try to do anything else, because why would you try to get hit in bounty if you can't even do the FM? It's like, it's just that's not how to motivate players. So
Well, and let me ask you this: you said they said they were putting pressure here and putting pressure there, but relieving pressure here. Well, like, where is the here that they relieve pressure?
I don't know. I'm just saying that's what he said. I guess they might think in their little twisted, muddled up brains that relieving pressure would be that they put the tokens in the FM so you could do the fleets. I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's why Chris,
right,
because he says bullshit like that, and I call him out on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say you're saying now. I mean, I'm reasonably high level. I'm almost level 134. Right, I'm at 10 million. I'm over level 134. Yeah, and I feel there's so many upgrades, and I feel like I'm behind on things. Because of that pressure, as it says, that pressure they put there. But I don't want to be. I don't want to be forced to speed up upgrades and things like that. Because I know that not long down the line. They'll nerf it in another way anyway. So I'll have spent money for a fleet that now doesn't work again. So I'm not in a hurry to spend money on it because of previous tactics by them. But I do feel to some extent that because of the amount of upgrades that are out there that they're putting on these holes, that you feel obligated to kind of do it. But I'm not bound to the pressure this time to spend money to do it.
And speaking of that too, I did, because I was just having a quick look at chat as well, that one of the things that I found kind of interesting in this is that in the FM, because I think to me this is important, is that we have the ability to get the 5 100 upgrade kits, but you only need 4. And then the flip side of that is that you can win 10 tokens in an FM or something. Oh, actually, we may as well use the bounty example. You can win 3 defensive hull tokens, but you can only hold 2. So there's so many little sneaky things that they do that you do really have to pay attention to what's going on. So
yeah, I would say one thing on the kits though for the dragons. You got to remember, there's probably are some people out there that have a fleet of 5 regular dragons with no flag, because the flag has always been super expensive every time they put it out.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's only available in raids as well, isn't it? I don't think it's available anywhere else. That's it, the dragon. But the Inferno, Greta's Inferno dragon.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's only just been available in raids as well, hasn't it, for about 25 million?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's right too. Because every time the price didn't really come down that much for the points that you needed. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And that brings me to a question I got for G Daddy.
What's that?
Being a non-coiner, and I don't know how long you had your dragons and whatnot, but what are you gonna do? You gonna go and build a new fleet, or are you gonna upgrade this and then try to build a new fleet? How are you gonna do all this? How does a non-coiner approach that?
Because if they do the transitions like they normally do, then I'm gonna keep doing the 114s. If they change the 114, the 120 and 121, then I'm going to go down to the 89. I'll step down the targets and I'll have to grind basically until I get my new fleet. And yeah, I'm going to build the new PvE fleet for FM, of course. Yeah.
Well, this is it. I mean,
hang on. Let me interrupt you real quick. Let me ask you this, G Daddy. How are you going to find time to build a new garrison hull when you're also going to have to be building a new raid fleet?
That was exactly what I was going to say. That's the point I was going to bring up. Yeah.
Well, that's my strategy. Is I do one shift of each, so I can at least get the lowest targets with one shift on the raid, and I'll grind my ass out for 17 hours a day until I get my points. So that's just me. I know you lot can't do that, but that's my game.
I was thinking that before, that, you know, if you're at 53k, you're doing bloody well in bounties. So
Yeah.
all power to you.
But see, the thing is, though, that eventually, if you're just going to step down and not have time to build the stuff, the new garrison hull, for example, because you're too busy building raid fleets, at some point you're going to just be phased out if you're never going to have time to build it. You get me?
No, because I've always got 5 by end at raid anyway, so I've always got what I want to get in the third raid.
You don't have to build another FM fleet on top of that. That's what I'm saying. You're never going to have time to build a new FM fleet.
Yeah, but we had to do that last year as well. I did the same.
But we had a whole FM. We had a whole garrison cycle though.
Yeah,
that's different. And we're not having a garrison cycle this time, so there's no extra time on to build the entire fleet.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, we've got to build a fleet that is just for the FM. Basically, doesn't do anything else as far as we're aware.
Because, you know, the logical assumption was there was going to be a garrison fleet, and that's why they were bringing out a new, there was going to be a garrison raid, and that's why we were going to be doing a new garrison hull. But lo and behold, in their infinite wisdom, they said, no, we're not doing a garrison raid cycle. You got to fit these 5 ships in while you're building 5 other ships, on top of doing refits and upgrades.
Yeah, sure.
This does actually annoy me that this is a backlash from the community who did not want the FM to change, even though the FM would have changed so that the raid fleets that we have now would have worked in the FM. So that's which would have guaranteed everybody in my alliance can make the transition to the new FM because we're always current on our raid fleets, nice and easily. Now we have to build an entire other garrison fleet while building raid fleets, which is not going to be possible, which is going to cripple us in the FM. Now, this is
I don't think it's
very upsetting.
I don't think you can blame the community on this one. Yeah, I think they spun it. I think they spun this to their own favour.
Hang on, Watchman. You cannot blame the community for this because I was there for those conversations, and we clearly told them that we needed to have the garrison raid cycle back so we could then have that 3 months or 4 months or whatever the fuck it was to build that fleet, get it perfected for by the time those fleets went to the mat party. That was very fucking clear to them. So no, the community ain't on the fucking community. It's on them not fucking listening.
Yeah, I think they spun it into their favour because they're now putting it so they're going to force people to build 2 separate fleets in the same 3-month cycle, and which they know that's a deliberate attempt again to make people coin fleets, and it was trying to throw it back at the community. It's just a dirty attempt for them to cover up their own fucking the way they act. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I saw the backlash when they announced it. There was pages and pages in the forums of people actively, aggressively being angry at this proposed change to where the raid fleets from this cycle would have moved into the FM. And they got very mad, and yeah, they listened.
But like I said, they didn't listen because the important part was to put the garrison cycle back in the garrison raid back in the cycle, and they didn't do that. Therefore, they did not fucking listen. And how you can say otherwise, I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it into perspective. Then, if people are asking for that, then what they were asking for is the next raid cycle to be a garrison one, yeah, and then those fleets become the next FM fleets for the next year or whatever until they change it again.
That would have
the
been
next
better.
garrison cycle drops around. They wasn't asking for a completely new fucking fleet. and have to build and stuff like that, you know. So KickSci manipulated it and used it to their own favour, you know, and then tried to blame the community as such, you know.
I
All right.
agree with both sides of that, because there was a lot of outrage in the forums, but I think it was the way that it's. I don't think they know how to bend and twist and what to actually act on and what not to act on, if that makes sense. So, or that'll change or whatever. It seems to be all over the place. You know, it's like we say that, you know, that they say they listen, but they only listen to part of the sentence or part of the actual tone. They don't. Like, to me, I was thinking about this a few days ago. So a normal company in a year would have, a gaming company would have a timeline, you know, whether it's on a whiteboard or whatever, and you would have a timeline of what you're bringing out, and when you're bringing it out, you'd know who's working on what, you know, Bob's working on this, George is working on that, and bloody Hannah's working on this, right? It's like, that's how you would plan to do this, because, you know, these things take planning and you know, work and coding and execution and all the rest of it. So you would have it planned out, and you'd have, you know, a bit of fudge factor here or there where your timelines might blur a little, or, you know, you come to some major barrier, so you need to have something in your back pocket to you know, continue on through the year. Whereas this, whether it's a team or the company, I'm not going to point fingers, but this, if you were looking at a linear timeline, this seems to be bouncing around all over the place to go, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, shit, they're giving us a hard time here, so we better do this. Oh, no, hang on a sec. No, we better do that. And it's like, you know, I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from on this, but to me, it should be all planned out during the year, that, you know, you've got, whether it's a financial year or a calendar year, you know what your company is doing or what it's going to achieve, you know, the figures that you need to achieve, whatever. But this just seems to be a bloody red hot mess of a car crash.
Okay,
yes.
we've listened to the community bullshit, you know, because they cherry pick little part of it and then throw it back at us, you know. And the reason why it doesn't seem like they've got no coercive plan is because they have a new team in every 3 bloody months that don't seem to know what the other team were doing, so nothing is joined up, you know. So, you know,
but this team's been in for a while now.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, you know, we've seen the mistakes, so many mistakes in the past, you know, and it's always been the player base that's suffered from that, you know.
And yes, if they had made a garrison raid, it would have, all these problems would have gone away.
Yeah. I mean, if the next raid series after this
and that's what was brought up in that whole discussion, was that there needed to be a garrison raid. That's part of the whole discussion. They just chose to fucking ignore it.
Yeah,
and that's why I really don't fucking care about this company anymore.
Because then you wouldn't mind building the garrison fleet, because you'll be using it for 3 months for the raid series, and then rolling over into the FM with it. You know?
No, I didn't say that myself. I actually meant if they put these targets, what we're using in the FM, as the next garrison raid, then we would have chance to build another garrison hull for whatever targets to bring out for the next raid FM cycle.
All right, yeah, I get you. Yeah, no, that makes sense. But we know that that's probably not going to happen, because if they do a new hull, they're going to do a new target as well. So
yeah, but that would make it a lot easier for them. They wouldn't even have to do it for 3 months. They've got 3 months of us being able to build a fleet and them being able to make targets for us for the next 3 months. I don't understand why they won't do that.
Well, you know, to me, if I'm using that timeline analogy, like, these targets should have been finished with 6 weeks ago, so that they were ready to flip over. So, because their interest is making money, as every company should be. So surely you would have that, so you can continue to make money, not just overreact and change things. And yeah, I don't know. It's just,
It's not only making money for them, though, is it? It's making the game challenging for us, as well as whalers, as well as mediocre players, as well as new players who just come into the game, or people who just come back to the game.
Let me ask you something. How can you use the term "we want to make this game challenging" when people can just buy their fucking points? How can you even say that you're trying to make this a challenging game?
Well, I'm actually glad you said that, because I was going to mention that. I said to a player the other day that if you stay away from the game just for a month and do what you can with that month, if you're coining, you just buy the next fleet and you'll be able to do the targets I can do anyway. And that's what he's done. He's stayed away, bought the fleet. He's actually stayed away from the game for about 3 months on his alternate account, and they give him nearly every single hull for 1 uranium each. About 5 or 6 of the new good turrets for 1 uranium each. And they give him 500,000 uranium, and 500,000 titanium, and 500,000 base parts, and 5,000 gold.
Yeah, that's what happened to Evil Kiwi as well. So
how long was that? 3 months, you say?
It was away about 3 months.
Do you know what? I'll come back and find nothing but a flat base and fuck all. You know what I mean?
And which would you prefer? Very good.
To answer the question, Damnation, yeah, but you stay away from it a good month and you can buy your way into it.
Well, shit, dude. If I was gone for a good month and hadn't logged in, I'd be damned if I'd come back.
No, I don't mean don't log in. I'm just saying do what you can up to what you can do, and then when they bring the fleet out, that's $9.99 for whole fleet. Just buy it.
I'm not spending shit on this piece of crap product, dude.
Yeah, true.
Oh.
Well, I agree. I haven't spent out for 8 years, so I agree. I mean, it's not that I don't want to spend. I can't afford to spend, so I mean, it's out there now. I can't afford it. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't. So
well, I do spend because I'm a PvP.
I'm a PvP player. I'm a pirate. I've always been a pirate since I started it.
I had no problem spending money on this game when it was fun and it was engaging, and I didn't feel like they were trying to rip me off every other day. But I have not had the feeling that they weren't trying to rip me off for a long time now. And that's why I'm moving on to different games. And I encourage other people to go out and look and see what else is out there.
This is what happens, though, Damnation, in games. People who play to pay to play will find it boring and needing more challenge, or it's too much chores, or I can't afford to do it anymore. So then they go down to a non-coiner, and then it's impossible for them to play that way because they can't, because of big fleets and repair times and build times. Always goes that way, man. Then you all start leaving, and it's left at players, and then it finishes. And that's it. I hope it doesn't die, because I love playing this game. I've always loved playing this game.
I despise what the company has done to the game.
Yeah, I mean, see, as you know, like, of course, I'd spend money because I'm a PvP player, and so to hit bases, you have to accept that you are going to spend money, you know. But then I find breaking different bases more enjoyable than constantly hitting the same target over and over again, you know. So that
that's not true though, because there was a long period that I hit bases all the time, and I enjoyed hitting bases, and it didn't cost me money. I didn't have to spend, 5 coins on a prep and then, have another 5 coins to do another prep and then spend 10 coins to fix the fleet afterwards. I never had to do that.
Yeah,
I started getting to that stage. That's when I stopped hitting bases.
I accept that the price to play the PvP side of the game has incrementally increased. It has got higher as well, Yeah.
Because the money in this used to be, when I started, was actually made from advertising revenue, And then then they introduced coin when the advertising revenue started to dry up, and then the coin was generated by the raids and by PvE, and then they realized, how much money they could make by PvP, and then woohoo, that's when the floodgates opened. So
there's one thing they could do to this game to make it really work, and that's the holes that are like 15 hours, put them to 24 hours, and the ones that are 5 days, put them to 24 hours. Make every hull for PvE and PvP just over 24 hours to build, or under 24 hours to build, and everybody would be happy. At least that'd make the game work.
Look, I've been talking to other players, and I'm pretty much sure that you have talked to these players too, because I was one of them. I used to get up in the morning to go to work, but I'd get up an hour early to see if my base has been hit, or to see if I can quickly hit someone or whatnot before, so I can put my fleet on repair for while I work, so I can get back home and play the game straight away. I'm not doing that anymore. It used to be, a lot of people used to do that. We used to talk in the morning, especially with the Americans, and then at night again, they were up, or it's early for them in the morning. When I come home, it'll be just vice versa. Who does that now? No one.
Well, we used to stay in chat shows, me and you, Toxic, didn't we, till like 5 in the morning and my time.
Used to be hours and hours and hours. It'd be hours on this game, and now why would you do it? It's just.
And we were talking about Battle Pirates then, though. What was Toxic? It wasn't wrestling and other things. What it was, Battle Pirates.
Yeah, because all the things he could do, and you could put that on, and that would do this, and this would do that. But now you can't do it. This is Siege. That's skirmish. You can't put that on there. The new weapons are too heavy for the old ships. They don't want to use us. They don't want us to use the older ships, the older hulls. So it's getting more and more and more and more. You can only go one way. As soon as you turn, you run into a wall. So
that's what I'm saying.
And I love you bring that up to them, and they're like, "Well, that ship has already sailed, and we can't go backwards." It's like, motherfuckers, you just redid a whole goddamn defense system from scratch. You're telling me you don't know how to make it so my conqueror hulls can engage in PvE targets again? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And they've doubled down on that too with the new special, because if it works when you're attacking a base, but doesn't work when it's in your base, they can do whatever they want. And certainly, that was a moment of realization when they went back and did the defense downgrade, to go back and do things to Mercuries and all the rest of it. It's like,
is everybody taking advantage of the cut down in build time for the turrets? It's down to like 1 day, 7 hours for the final level up to level 10.
That has been a good thing.
That's been really nice. Going to be able to finish out all my turrets, and there is a very easy time limited campaign out there with 3 days of structure build tokens in it, plus the one in the FM. That's like 4 days, four turrets right there. Really nice.
Actually, I just wanted to quickly touch on that. So, have you done the TLC?
Oh yeah, I did the Turrets of Terror 2 one. That can be done with your dragons. I did it on automatic, just easy to mow down. That's a pretty old campaign.
Yeah, but this is the interesting part of that. Was that before you'd upgraded them? Or afterwards?
Yes, that was before I upgraded them.
And you've got long range.
Sorry, Alfie, go on.
Cuddle, have you got long range or short range?
I have long range ones.
Boom, yeah, because the short range ones take a lot of damage.
Oh.
But having said that, I wanted to try and get it done before the show, but I didn't get a chance. Was that I was interested to see what the damage was like now that I have upgraded my dragons to U1, so I was kind of interested. So anyway, sorry.
Well, I would say that what I was going to ask you is, had you done your FM by then, or are you still waiting to do your FM now, Kobish?
My drag. I only have one of my dragons has been upgraded. I'm using my time to upgrade other stuff. Unfortunately, I'll get back to them. So I'm not a good person to ask there.
Yeah, I focused on doing my FM fleet because the increase in damage was out of control. I'm now having to hit this amount of targets in the FM. I dropped everything and just concentrated on getting my dragons done. So I've got everything to U1 so far. So, but I am interested in going back and doing this campaign to see what it's like. So,
Well,
and the other campaign is still very, very hard.
okay.
If you're into the Hyperion stuff, that's still Eradicators. That's still really nasty.
Bugger, I wanted to give that a go. Oh, well.
yeah, I'm still working on the Saturn's dropping the. I've got the was it Dion CRC one on all of them, but I'm now dropping the last couple of Synco drives on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from this week's FM. So I'll have 4 of them with those on as well. So, and they've got the alloy armor COM4, and obviously the corrosive battery one. I said about the only thing that I haven't changed them is the name.
Yeah.
You know? So the amount of fucking refits that thing's had, you know that. So
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the BP next week, RB, because I see you got it pulled up.
Yeah, keep talking us with us.
Yeah, we've been going on for an hour. So I was going to segue into that before, because it's like, you know, there's no point in doing the memory lane every show. But anyway, so probably the most important things of this is that there's pillage again. So that starts on Wednesday. Interesting that it's got Proto-Apollo hull upgrades, because I really don't know how many people have actually made them. But there's 2 new pieces of assault tech, so that kind of worries me a bit to what they'll be. There's the big payouts for individuals and alliances at the top of the leaderboard, because you know how much we all love that. And then Thursday the 2nd is BP's birthday, so I'm not quite sure why they've made it May the 2nd. I don't know if that's because I don't think that's the actual day, but anyway, never mind.
I think that was the day that beta finished. It went into actual become just BP. I think before that it was beta. You know that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know, because I started in, I think it was
It was beta for years.
Yeah. So because I do believe that it was actually, you know,
It
ran for a little while before that. I'm sure it was.
I want to say I think the game came out April 11th, I think, but I could be mistaken.
Well, that would be 8 years then. That would actually be 8 years. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah.
Well, I started it 3 months after it went to public, so its birthday was May, and I started in July.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting, because we're all getting badges based on the age of our bases. So that'll be interesting to kind of see. So, because Damnation and I were talking about this the other day, and I do remember specifically Travis talking about rewarding players that have stuck around for all this time, and you know, to me it will be kind of interesting to see what the badges are and you know how they all play out. And
it's thank you for your time and money, and here's a badge.
Yeah, I know, right?
Will it be a badge?
I'm not going to get a hat, so a badge will have to do. Sorry, G Daddy, go for it.
I was just going to say, will it be a badge that we can put on his base? Because that'd be nice.
Well, I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see a big 8 on my base, just to show him I've been playing 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That'd be nice, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. So, but I mean, obviously, pillage is going to be a thing every month now. So it's it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So
I appreciate that event because I got 1,278 chests during that last event, and if I can get that many again, I'll never be out of uranium, titanium, or base parts forever.
well, the good thing is now too that they've actually finally bloody fixed how the chests are done, and you don't have to scroll through them all. So because I thought about that because I'd been on about that for ages because I used to hoard chests. And it used to really piss me off that I'd have to click through, 50 chests to get to my FM chests and stuff like that. But if you're going to have 1,278 of them,
Well,
good thing I've done that.
Hang on a minute, Damnation. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Just hang on a second. Hang on. You say 50, right? I laugh at that. I had to click 670 times to get just into the ones that I wanted to open. So I could...
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, wasn't that the shark event that you got all those chests in, not the pillage?
I can't remember which one it was now. I think it was pillage.
I think it was pillage because you could get all the bacon chests.
Yeah, bacon chests.
Yeah, I've still got about 50 of those bacon chests and stuff. Things like that. But I mean, I never get to open them because I'm normally always full up with everything before raids and events start,
Yeah.
Well, it's raids really when you can't get stuff. I mean, but for most of the other events, they keep things open. So, but because I normally keep pretty well topped up, they're there, but I've never get around to opening them.
Are you finding it hard to spend uranium, any of you guys?
I don't have any problem with it.
No, roll for crews.
Yeah, but I've got 50 crews, so I only use 5 at a time on my FM fleet, and others now and again, and I fill back up again. So how do you spend uranium?
I usually go through probably 200 or 300k each time I roll for a crew.
Wow. Okay. What crews are you looking for?
There's only a few that are worth keeping in my opinion. So.
Well, I use mostly steel.
So I use sorry, go on.
I use mostly steel heads on my fleets. So basically, it's a roll of steel head in 3 rolls, and it's an hourly one. So
Grease monkeys, demo squads. What's the one for the base defender? I tend to use that still as well.
Junkyard dogs.
Junkyard dogs. You get the 3.5 day ones. I do stick them on because they've got explosive defense on them. If it's working or not, I don't know. But yeah, I don't
know if that crew works. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
So if you've got like a ballistic breacher in your guard, it certainly does.
Okay.
But the good news is you'll be able to spend your uranium doing your turrets now.
It's titanium, isn't it?
It's also some of the upgrades.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Yeah, sorry, you're right.
It's 80k titanium now they've changed it. So that's what I'm saying. It's hard to spend uranium nowadays. I think everything's titanium now, isn't it?
Yeah. I think you're the only person on this panel that has problems spending uranium.
Yeah. Titanium's easy to get. If you've got any Saturns, I mean, titanium's easy to get. You can one Saturn hole in the 95 and it's free repair. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You won't need to do that.
Yeah, all right. So most of base parts is I find, and even titaniums, it's, as I said, it's reasonably, for me, easy to get. That's why I haven't managed to open the chests, but of course they're always there should I need them during a raid as a fallback. But I haven't needed them yet. So they're just they're like Plan B. But fortunately, I haven't had to touch them yet.
Well, I mean, it all depends on what the targets are like in pillage anyway. Because if they're hard, you're not going to be wasting points getting chests anyway. But I know I need to stock back up with them because I like to have a stockpile in hand, and I'll, to me, I would much rather open 4 chests to fill back up with titanium than go and run any target, because it's one less chore that has to be done, whether it's auto or not. It's one less thing that I have to do. So I guess it's still one click though, isn't it? But anyway. Cool. All right. Well, we've been rattling on for a while. So, is there anything else anyone else wants to touch on?
Could I say something about it's about a player that's passed? If anyone knew a player called Bang Bang, he'd played since virtually the game started. Ben, he died yesterday. He was only 39 years old. Good guy. Just like to say, rest in peace, my friend. That was it.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. Rest in peace.
And I guess we've all known people in that 8 years that this, that have passed or whatever, because it has been a long time playing this game. So I guess can't really top that. Sorry. So yeah, unless anyone else wants to say anything, I think we might leave it at that.
Sounds good to me. Say goodnight, Gracie.
All right. Cool.
Good night, all. Good night, all.
Later.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
We're out.
Good night, Gracie.
Good night.